Hi, this is Jennifer with the Collective, and today we have Phil Sessions with us, and he's going to dive in with what he needs help with today. So go ahead, Phil.
All right. Well, Jennifer, thanks for having me on. Sorry about that. I'll turn the ringtone off there.
All
But
good.
yeah, just to get into it, hopefully a quick background and everything. So I do public speaking coaching. I still have a full-time job, and so I'm trying to get to public speaking coaching being a full-time thing, but it's on the side right now. Been at it for about a year and a half. I've helped about 50 people in total. I've got a group coaching program and then a one-on-one program. Right now, I don't have anybody in the one-on-one currently, and I've got about 4 people in the group coaching program. So clearly need to get those numbers up a little bit. The main struggle that I find is that people don't see the value in what it is that I bring to the table and how that can help them. Because, of course, well, maybe I shouldn't say of course, but the coaching does cost money. And it being speaking coaching, it's hard to see what an ROI would be on if I buy speaking coaching. What's the return for me on that and everything? Although it obviously impacts us in all sorts of ways, not just literally to get on stage, but there's all sorts of ways that speaking could impact us. And so that's the one major thing. But then the other side is really packaging the offer where it's enticing enough to then make sense as well to be able to spend the money on that too.
Got it. All right. So let's dive into a couple things that are going to seem a little weird, but we're going to get where you want to go.
All right.
The number one thing, and we'll get to the offer and all that other stuff in a second, but do you understand your numbers? Like, what is the gap between your job and what you need to earn to be comfortable as a coach? And do you understand how much money you need versus how much money you want?
Yeah.
And so that's the first thing you usually do when jumping from having a job to being an entrepreneur, because the chances of jumping from what I want, from a job to what I want, is probably not going to happen. And that's not to be detrimental to you. Just you have to, you trade money for time.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're doing that, then it's hard to make that jump from I have this time allotted for something else and it's not available for the thing I want to do. And I have to make the shift to the thing I want to do. And there's going to be a little gap in there between what you need to make and what you want to make.
Yeah.
And then understanding those financials so that you can put yourself in a position to make the jump, because it's going to be a little uncomfortable when you switch from job to entrepreneurship. It's going to be tight, probably. It's going to be a little scary. Let's just be fair, right? Because you don't have the security net of a paycheck and you're depending on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So first and foremost, I would dig into your finances, have a good cushion, and really make like that a real thing in your head, is understanding this is how much I have to make, I need to make, so that I can live my life. That isn't like how much to cover your bills and then not have a penny extra. That means where can you live a pretty okay life, but it's not maybe all the bells and whistles that you wish it would be
Mm-hmm.
immediately. And then what's the plan to get there? And that's the second part of the math you need to understand, is what is the lifetime value of your people? And I know you're just like kind of getting into this, but like, how long are they going to stay? What are they going to buy? Can you upsell and downsell them into other services that are complementary? Can you get some kind of affiliate or referral system in place so that as you're working with these people, you maybe can refer them to other people, or programs where you can actually start earning a secondary income in
Mm-hmm.
addition to what you do? And then what does all of that math look like? And it's going to make your brain explode. But it's important to really know your numbers in any business, because some people will have like a 3-month cushion and they'll make the jump, but there's no plan and no idea of what those numbers and financials look like. And then they freak out because they run out of money faster than they can figure out how to make it. So that's number one, is understand your math, and understand a strategy for acquisition. And it seems like that's the second part you're stuck on, is how do you acquire people and build value, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what I would do is I would go into the market for people that are speakers currently and talk to them about what it is they get from speaking aside from speaking. So first of all, you can get paid to speak, right? But you're not going to get
Mm-hmm.
that right away. chances are it takes a minute for people to know you and want to pay you to be on the stage. But the flip side is when you are a speaker on stage, it does attract people to you to do business with you. They see you as an expert and trustworthy and other such things. And so as you're building that rapport with speaking, you then experience growth in your business or coaching or whatever it is you're doing as a result, because you are a subject matter expert and people look to you. As long as you can speak well. If you're a shitty speaker, you know, probably people are not going to do that, right? And so that right there starts building your value proposition, which is, if you just go on a stage and start speaking, chances are you're going to be talking at the Rotary Club forever. And what is that going to do for you? Probably not a lot. But when you hone your skill and you start at the Rotary Club, and then you go to the chamber, and then you go here, and then you get stages and so on and so forth, as you grow that career, you'll start getting paid to do it. And in addition, people will be drawn to you to do business with you and whatever it is you do, because you'll be seen as the expert. And so in talking to people that are already paid speakers or well-known speakers in your circle, and get them to kind of give testimonial as to why it's important to become a speaker. Like, there's tons of people in Apex, right, that speak on stages professionally or semi-professionally, and I'm sure you could tap some of them to give that testimonial that says, hey, this is why it's important to hone this craft, and here's what I've experienced as a result, and kind of use that. Even though they haven't worked with you per se, it like tells the story of why coaching speaking is valuable. And then build your merit on why you're a good coach for speaking. Like, what have you accomplished as a result of speaking or teaching people to speak, or so on and so forth. So you have to hone that message in. And I feel like the best way to do that is to get those people involved, as well as build out your authority. And that will lead us to the final point, which is working on your confidence. Because if you're not confident about what you're doing, because you're kind of in the tweener stage, then people won't be confident in your ability to do the thing, right? And so you have to believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can help people, that you can effectively help them along this journey, that you have it mapped out, and that you're going to be there for them. And as long as you believe that in your heart of hearts, and you can prove effectively that you can do that, you will have more confidence, and therefore you'll have more value built into your program, versus if you come at it like, well, it's important that you speak, but I'm not really sure why or how, but I just guarantee you it's going to do good stuff for you, right? It's kind of like mapping out what that journey looks like, and then believing it in your heart of hearts that you can help people do that. And the more people you've helped, obviously testimonials, obviously you use them in case studies, things like that, and you can build out that program. How do you feel about that kind of stuff?
No, that makes a lot of sense. And I would say some of that, I think going back to Apex and ask, or some of those people in Apex or other areas that I know speakers from or groups, that would be helpful. And that would kind of help give me some clarity, because I've got ideas for myself how it'll help me. And it's a little obvious with being a speaking coach to speak more. Pretty obvious there, but let's say for, I don't know, a contractor in the small business owner that does concrete work, just random thing, like how is that going to help them? It's like, well, there's this or this, but I don't have like everything for them necessarily. So I think asking some of these people that have been speakers that are in different industries will help me be able to visualize what that is, so I can really then, when I'm talking to the person, oh, well, you could do this, or this, and obviously not mention everything, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, then also is the other thing is figure out who your avatar is. Because maybe your avatar isn't the guy who pours concrete. Maybe your avatar is the dude who owns 25 roofing companies, locations, Maybe your avatar is self-help people. Maybe your avatar is somebody else, but somebody you feel like you can relate to, understand their story, and effectively help with that change. Because when you get, and this is because I'm a marketing person, right? When you get in the spray and pray mode, what happens is you really dilute your message and your capability. But if you get really like laser targeted into who it is you want to help and how you can help them, you're going to have a lot more success, because just saying you're a speaking coach is like saying, I like food.
Yeah.
Right? Of course you like food, otherwise you'd be dead. But what kind of food do you like? Well, I like, various kinds of food, still not very specific. Oh, cool. I want to make you dinner. What am I supposed to make if you say you like everything? Dig down in and find out the favorite. Who are your favorite people? What do they look like? What age are they? Are they male or female? Are they both? Do they own businesses? Do they not own businesses? Are they service industry? Are they self-help? Are they coaches? Who knows? But that's another part of this is understanding truly who your avatar is. And if you need help building an avatar, just reach out to me. This is what I do all day. But you got to dig in and understand, like, what are their hobbies? What do they do? What are they hoping to accomplish? What is their purpose? What are their goals? So on and so forth. And when you truly dial in down to that as well, it's really going to help you with the rest of this. So you can really target your message to them, and you're speaking to them, not to everybody. Because if you walk in a crowded room and you go, hey, somebody turn out the lights, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, no one's gonna turn them off.
Right, because nobody thinks you're talking to them. But if you go, hey, Charlie, in the blue suit over there by the hors d'oeuvres bar, can you please turn out the lights? What do you think is going to happen? Charlie's going to probably turn out the lights, right? So you just have to have that message like clearly refined, and make sure you're talking to Charlie and not everybody. Because when you talk to everybody, you talk to nobody.
Yeah.
Does that help you at all?
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah.
Cool. And I have this conversation a lot with people, is especially when you're new and stuff, you think that, oh gosh, I can help everybody. I promise you I can. But really, honestly, you don't want to, you don't need to, and you truly can't, because you're not refining your craft into a certain person that you really can move the needle with. And then it's repeatable actions lead to repeatable results. And so if you dig into that stuff, I think you're gonna get there. And then it'll help you also, like with your group coaching, your one-to-many, because that's really where you're gonna get people into your ecosystem. It'll really help you refine like a process and a system for getting them in there. Here's the steps you have to take to get to here, and then it'll lead them into your one-on-one coaching. Versus if you're just like kind of like, just get one-on-one coaching. Why? I don't know, because I said so, right? So have a plan for what that funnel looks like too, because chances are good most people are going to come into your group coaching, so it needs to have a plan. Who you're talking to, how you help them accomplish a thing. That then, when they need more help and they want to make that jump, kind of like yourself, then they can be prepared to make that jump and go, the natural response is to have you coach me the rest of the way across the finish line. Because, I was on the couch, I'm learning to walk a 5K in your group. And then when I want to go run a marathon, I need your help. And you just make that really evident to them, so that it's a natural choice, is that they go into some one-on-one style coaching with you, which will then feed the funnel for that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm taking some notes here. So yeah, that's really good. Yeah.
And I'll send you this recording too, so that you have it to refer to.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah.
What other questions do you have?
Trying to think. So I guess pricing is kind of a weird thing. I know it's kind of hard to maybe answer, but like pricing's always been kind of weird for me, because obviously, and I don't charge $100 for per month for one-on-one coaching, but at that price, there's people that are willing to pay. I guess let me take a step back. So there's people that I've been able to network with, especially more here locally, that if I was say $100 a month or even $500 a month for one-on-one coaching, they're like, oh yeah, I can do that. But if I get like over that $1,000 mark, then it's like, oh wow, that's a lot. And I know part of that would be to be really clear on the offer and stuff, but I still feel like I'm not in front of the people that one can afford that service, but two feel that it's worth that value too. And so I think we've kind of covered that, the worth, and obviously something I need to work on. But how do I maybe network and get in front of people that are going to be able to afford the higher ticket prices?
That is going to come with all the things I just told you. When you're
Okay.
very crystal clear on your message, what you're offering, who you're offering it to. You're going to get in front of those, and then putting yourself in places like Apex, putting yourself in places like Ariate and other such kind of groups. Then you're around high earning people. Another way is social media, right? You can go out on social media and get involved in groups, and like there are softwares out there that will detect when somebody talks about speaking, wanting to do public speaking, etc. Toastmasters trains people to do public speaking. So you may find some people in there that want to go next level, although they do a great job of training people to speak publicly, but maybe they want to really refine into a niche that they speak about, rather than just being good at speaking, stuff like that. So you just gotta kind of, again, once you understand your avatar, it's going to be really easy to find these people, because you're going to understand exactly who they are, instead of where you're at now, which is spray and pray, where you're just bumping into people and be like, hey, this is what I do. You want to do it? And then also you should have a way to turn those people, those lower ticket people, into your group coaching. And especially right now, if you only have 4 or 5 people in there, it's practically like one-on-one. So, you know, flip them into that group, and then perhaps they can start to see the value and then grow into one-on-one coach. And it's very easy once you understand your worth and you have these things laid out to be able to have that conversation realistically, because they detect in you a hesitancy, because you're not confident about what you're doing, because it's kind of all over the place. So they detect that. People can, like, it's nuanced, but they can detect that that's where you're at. And so they'll try to take advantage of that fact, because you're not confident about what you do. Because the only difference between you and the dude that charges $100,000 a year is a refined system, a refined avatar, and confidence. Think about Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
He's been doing it a long time, right? He's confident, but he has a system, he has an avatar, and he's confident. And he will, you know, he can get anybody he wants to pay him as much money as he asks for, because he's known, and he's known for a thing. You just have to like get kind of on that level. I mean, I hope you'll beat Grant Cardone someday, but while you're climbing that ladder, it's just doing repeatable stuff every single day so that people know who you are and what you do.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I know it seems very obvious when it's broken down, but it's hard. And it's hard to see, like they say, it's hard to see the forest for the trees, right? It's hard to see that stuff when you're mired in it and you're just like, I just want to do this thing, and it's hard and I don't know how, and all of that stuff. But if step by step, every day you do a small little thing to get there, you know, like I'm going to give you homework and I'm going to check back with you. And what I really want you to do is I want you to work on your avatar. That's going to be the key thing that you can do. And I'll check back with you in a week or so. But really work on your avatar, and I'll send you an avatar sheet.
Okay.
That I use for marketing, but it's the same idea.
Okay.
It'll help you dig into who it is you're talking to, who you want to work with. It isn't who you can work with, it's who you want to work with. Because there's some people you do not want to work with. No matter how much money they give you, you do not want to deal with them. Because you can't solve their problem, or because you don't like working with them. It's up to you.
That's corporate for me.
Yeah, right. So understand that, and understand who you love to work with. And that's who we're looking for, is we're looking for the people you really, really, really relate to, that you love working with, and you can have a great conversation with, and you really connect and bond. So that's your homework that I'm going to give you. But again, I'll check back with you in a week to make sure you did it, because accountability is key. Because if nobody makes you do it, you're not going to. And then work on steps after that to help you get where you need to be. And then the other assignment I'm going to give you is looking at your finances. Figure out with money where you need to be able to say goodbye to your job. And I want you to write it down on a piece of paper. And I want you to look at it every day, so that you understand, like kind of vision board style, like where it is you need to get to, so you can say sayonara to that job. And I'm telling you, if you keep it in front of your face, like a vision board style, where you can see it, you will work on that goal. And then you're going to want to understand what the breakdown looks like. But every time you get a new person based on your avatar into your ecosystem, you're going to be able to see that you're getting closer and closer to that number. It's going to give you drive.
Yeah.
Because right now you probably have no idea. You just know how much money you make at your job. and you know how much money you're making coaching, but you don't actually know your math, which is, this is the number I have to be at to be able to leave my job. And this is what it looks like. I need this many one-on-one clients. I need this many people in my group. This is what I need to do in order to get there. And then you can just start checking them off as you get them. It's going to make you feel good.
Yeah, I'll go write that down. Yeah, that's something I can do pretty easily. I've got roughly, I just need to write it down and more map that out. So that one should be pretty easy. The avatar be a little bit of work, but I can
Yeah.
definitely get that done in a week.
Yeah, you can get it done in a week.
Yeah.
I got a worksheet for you, so it'll tell you what you need to know, and then you just got to think
Okay.
about it. Like really think about it. And this is not permanent, right? So you may
Yeah.
decide this is your avatar, and then it may shift over time based on who you end up working with, and you may discover new pockets of people you just love working with. But it's a jumping point for you to start so that you can get where you need to be. And then we can talk again, and you can work on a plan of like, how are you gonna get people like this into your ecosystem, and how many you need, and then how many of those people need to go to one-on-one, so on and so forth, and then dig into Apex and do a bunch of stuff like that. But I feel like with these couple tools, you'll be able to make that leap sooner than you think if you have a goal, money, like how much you gotta make to get out of that job.